Today's conversation is on the burning desire and detachment from outcome, which is reconciled while we're in flow, state. We're walking in beautiful Fifth Avenue in Playa del Carmen earlier in the morning. Later on, this whole area will be packed of people. By like 7 or 8, it's full, wall to wall here, full of people. So you may have heard the concept of the burning desire. I had learned this back in the days from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. In this book, he speaks about how through the burning desire, a person can actualize the desires of the heart. So the way I relate to this is the burning desire of the heart is to actualize yourself in some shape or form, to, in other words, be as you are. So for me, my first burning desire was to get out of $50,000 debt in 2004. And through the burning desire, creative ideas, insights, and perspectives were received within. So we could say the burning desire provides creative insights as to how you can actualize your prosperity. Now, this also applies to relationships, and I have found this to apply in all areas of life. So the burning desire provides clarity, insights, perspective. And also, think of it from an artist's perspective. The artist is able to take that burning desire, the desire to creatively express their authenticity, and transmute that powerful energy into some form of creative expression. It could be a painting, it could be dance, it could be music, it could be making a video like this. That powerful energy, rather than being suppressed, repressed, or denied, can be transmuted into a physical creative expression, a physical representation of yourself. True self-expression, we could say. So as mentioned, my first definite chief aim was to get out of $50,000 debt, which ended up happening. And then over the years, I created many definite chief aims, which all ended up happening, including building my first business, my IT business, to success, my consulting practice, this YouTube channel, and also in different areas of my life, relationships, life experiences, lifestyle, etc. And also wonderful service to other people. What I found is that the burning desire has also been a way of being in harmony with all. In other words, when I put out a creative expression, and I trust you notice this as well, when you put out a creative expression, whatever it may be, it also benefits everyone that enjoys your creative expression. So this powerful energy, this emotion that is from the heart, can be transmuted rather than being suppressed, repressed, or denied into creative, wonderful expressions of your life. And they also happen to be in harmony with all, mutually beneficial. So in summary thus far, with respect to burning desire, your burning desire to be as you are, to live the life that you genuinely desire to live, and to have the kind of experiences that you genuinely desire to experience, is God calling you to live that way, which is the authentic way. And I recommend living that way, because not only is it beneficial for you, it's beneficial for everyone. Everyone benefits greatly. Through the various businesses that I've built, through the people that I've met over the years, to the people that they were introduced to, from the people that I met, the connections, etc., everyone benefited greatly by listening to my heart and honoring the burning desire. So again, not suppressing, repressing, or denying the burning desire, but rather choosing to express it in a creative form. That's the power of the burning desire. Let's talk about detachment from outcome. So consider this for a moment. A burning desire may initiate the conversation with a person. Let's say, for example, a person desires to have a harmonious relationship with another individual. Yet they seem to have conflict in their conversations. If they didn't have the burning desire, they may not initiate what they think of to be a difficult conversation, which is just a label. In other words, they're labeling it as a difficult conversation. Is it actually a difficult conversation? Or are they labeling it that way? The individual determines if the conversation is difficult, etc. And no shame in condemnation. The burning desire initiates starting that conversation. And then what ends up happening is the person gets into the flow with the other person. The conversation flows, in other words. Practically speaking, insights, perspective, mutual harmony is experienced in the conversation as the person then detaches from the outcome. And what I mean very specifically is the burning desire a person may associate it with, it has to be this way or that way in order for them to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment in the relationship, which is an illusion. They're essentially conditioning themselves to be presented in a particular way before they can experience themselves authentically. The reality is they are unconditional love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment for no reason at all. And they can experience that in the conversation with this person. So in the moment, let's say, if they think that it needs to go this way or that way in order for that conversation to be harmonious, they can, in that moment, practice releasing that identification in the moment. Acknowledging that there is a space between what the person that they're communicating with says, does not do, does not say, behaves, does not behave, etc. And they're choosing what that appearance or experience with the other person means to them. And they may be subconsciously choosing, we could say, without conscious awareness, but here we're talking about bringing conscious awareness. And they will know this through their thinking, through their emotions, and through their behaviors. They may be subconsciously choosing a belief of limitation, which plays out as inharmonious reactivity, we could say, or unnecessary conflict in the relationship, which then could lead to further disagreement, frustration, etc., or perhaps a fight response or flight response, rather than the conversation flowing in a way that is mutually harmonious, allowing some space, we could say, for that conversation to flow in a way that's mutually harmonious. So consider, there's a space between the appearance, again, what they say, what they don't say, what they don't do, etc., body language, and you. You transcend the beliefs in mind. You have a mind, yes. You may be identified with particular beliefs, yet you transcend those beliefs. And you could choose to relate to it in a harmonious way. But a person might not know. What is the way to relate to them harmoniously? Well, when we practice detachment from outcome, the way shows up. All the various scriptures of the world point to this, that when we let go and let God, the way shows up. I trust you've noticed this. We could say all of a sudden you know what to say, what to do, what not to say, what not to do. It seems the other person reflects that accordingly. They all of a sudden know what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do, and all of that flows naturally by detaching from the outcome. So we see the benefit here, the reconciliation point. The burning desire can initiate the conversation. The burning desire may provide clarity, insights, and perspectives during the conversation as the individual is deeply engaged in the conversation. They genuinely desire to be there. They have a burning desire to be there. Yet, in particular moments, they're practicing detachment from outcome. They're not suggesting if a particular outcome happens, then only then can this relationship appear to be in harmony. Now, this might be challenging in the earlier stages, as it was for me, which is why I always teach that entrepreneurship for many years has been a spiritual catalyst for me. Conversations have been a spiritual catalyst for me. The conversations that I have with my friends, the conversations that I have with my family, with my business partners, with people that I meet, are mutually beneficial because what happens is in those conversations, both parties, or if it's a group of people, gain insights, perspectives, clarity. They feel better emotionally. I as well feel the same way. And if there is any potential identification to particular limiting beliefs, which again are the conditions that we're detaching from this subconscious outcome condition that it needs to be this way or that way to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, which is our true nature, our authentic way of being, then I take the opportunity to release that identification. And then what happens? The conversation flows, body appears to flow, fluidity of mind, everything appears to flow, to be in harmony. And how wonderful is this, that each of us have this opportunity through any form of creative expression. It could be conversations for you. It could be entrepreneurship. It could be painting. It could be dance. It could be whatever you'd like. I trust you've noticed this. There are plenty of opportunities I have found in my life to apply what we're talking about here, which is again, honoring the burning desire while being detached from outcome. Now, a number of years ago, I made a few videos talking about this. And so practicing this more so over the years, I have experienced it more so I can articulate it this way now with even more precision. And I also found it to be an access point to the flow. The burning desire and detachment from outcome is an access point to the flow. What I mean by this is burning desire. I take the step, whatever the step may be. Start the business, start the conversation, put out the video, hit record on the camera, and start the conversation. Whatever it may be, the burning desire inspires it. During the articulation, I don't think about what to say in these videos, it shows up. During the articulation, during the creative expression, even while snowboarding, for example, I get some ideas. Make this move, say this, don't do this. It arises naturally from the source. And what happens is then I share it. Or if it's a creative expression, I put it out as the creative expression, some shape or form. If you're painting, then you put it out into your painting. And after looking at that painting that you create, or the video that you create, or whatever it is that you creatively express, you see how wonderful it is. It may be even symbolic to you. You may notice that people benefit greatly from it. They find it to be symbolic as well, helpful to them in some shape or form. Which proves the point that when we honor the burning desire, it ends up being beneficial for us, beneficial for people, beneficial for everyone. That's what I found to be the case. So then the burning desire part is really helpful as well, because that too is a flow access point. So you access the flow through the burning desire, and you also access the flow through detaching from outcome. How so? Let's use the example of creative expression. So let's say a person is putting out some content on YouTube. We have a number of members of Flow-Based Prosperity that have been creating videos on YouTube, and we've been discussing this. Prior to creating the video, and maybe at points during creating the video, they identify with a particular thought of limitation. Maybe they think, I need to say something in order for this video to be good. And if I don't say that thing, then the video is not going to be good. And that doesn't feel like the natural thing to say. So they then try to force themselves to say the thing. This is distinct than, let's say, if they had an insight to make a video and they say it's going to be around this particular topic. Like, for example, right now we're talking about burning desire and detachment from outcome and the harmony between the two, which is flow. And also it's distinct from, let's say, an idea all of a sudden pops up in their mind, talk about this, or it just automatically shows up and they talk about it intuitively. If they were identified with that particular thought while making the video or prior to the video, to force themselves to say a particular thing, or even we could say behave in a particular way, or put on a persona to pretend to be someone which doesn't feel natural to them, now that feels like a flow restrictor. The creative expression, the video that they genuinely desire to make, feels like it's force-based, feels like a flow restrictor. And so if they feel that it doesn't come out naturally, again, no shame and condemnation, that's an opportunity point to practice detaching from outcome in that moment. Simply release that identification. Be still for a moment. No longer identify with that thought. And you find that you naturally flow in the conversation. You naturally communicate from your heart. You share what you genuinely desire to share, which may transcend the mental chatter in mind that seems to suggest that you need to communicate X, Y, Z, because that is the thing you have to communicate in order for the video to be good. Well, is that really true? Is that the thing that you have to communicate in order for the video to be good, in order for the video to be helpful? Well, what I found from personal experience from making these videos since 2013 is that whenever I communicated without the attachment to outcome, without identifying with the thoughts that suggest it needs to be this way or that way to experience and share love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, according to whose standard, those thoughts, we can no longer identify with them. We choose to live authentically. In other words, not looking around for what other people are doing or saying before you do something that you genuinely desire to do, and also not identifying with thoughts that arise in mind that suggest you need to do this or that to live some persona, which is a false persona anyways, of fake love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Because love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment is best served your style, we could say. So rather than doing that, when I put out the videos speaking authentically from the position of truth, we could say, true love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, the burning desire shared, we could say, the burning desire flowed, so the emotion flowed through creative expression. And I said what I wanted to say, the way I wanted to say it, and not from a place of force, shame, condemnation, spite, etc. Rather from the genuine desire to share. And then what I noticed is people email me, or I receive comments, or I may get a DM on Instagram and say, this thing that you said in the video, this one thing that you said in the video, which was spontaneous, I didn't plan on saying it, that helped me in this area, that area, transformed my business, doubled my income. I have received messages like that over the years. What this has brought awareness to is that the source within knows better than, let's say, what I may think is the best. And so by practicing detachment from outcome, I could allow that creative expression from the source to flow through my burning desire to express in this creative way and let it take care of everything for me. Now, in relationships, we also have the opportunity to honor the burning desire and also practice detachment from outcome so we can experience flow more so. So we can access flow in the relationships. And what it plays out as is harmonious relationships, harmonious conversations. How so? Well, let's look at a scenario. Let's say a person has a genuine desire to have harmonious relationships in their life. They would like to have harmonious friendships and a wonderful, loving relationship. But now they're in the earlier stages, we could say, and they're in the dating phase. So they're interested in making friends, they're interested in dating, and if they find someone, we could say, that they resonate with, then they'll choose to be in a relationship with them. So they have a burning desire to have this kind of life with wonderful friendships, dating life, and eventually a wonderful relationship. Nothing wrong with that. They genuinely desire to do it. And they may get some insights. Reach out to one of their friends, let's hang out, go out for the evening. Or they may be out and about and there's a lot of people in their community. They may now feel authentically that starting a conversation can open up doors with them. So they, let's say, go to these events with their friends. They start having conversations with people when they're out and about. The burning desire inspires them to do it. So they feel in flow about it. When they start the conversations, they access the flow. When they go out with their friends, they access the flow. And it's in mutual harmony and in contribution to actualizing their vision of mutual harmonious relationships. Now, this is where detachment from outcome comes in. Let's say they start a conversation with someone. If they say that this conversation with this person must go in a particular way, as in it must go in a dating way, or it must go in a friendship way, or it must go in a business contact way, then what happens is they condition that relationship, and they may condition it in a way that is not mutually beneficial. They can, in that moment, be aware of it, as mentioned. There's a space between you, as you transcend the beliefs, and the appearance. And you can choose how you relate to the appearances, experiences, relationships. So, in that moment, they take a moment to be still, and the conversation flows in a mutually harmonious way. So what happens then is that anxiety, the social anxiety of starting conversations with people, which many people email me about this, goes away, because that social anxiety is the result of identification to particular beliefs that is generating that experience of social anxiety. And it may have something to do with attachment to outcome of it needing to be this way or that way to determine love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, which is an illusion, because they are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment for no reason at all. Unconditional love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment for no reason at all. If they don't condition themselves, the relationship plays out naturally and organically. Now, what I've seen when people do this from my personal experience as well, is you form wonderful relationships. They may be dating relationships, they may be friendships, they may be business relationships, and the not identifying with outcome aspect actually allows me to be more creatively expressive in the conversations. So then I actually see, we could say, more people wanting to be my friend, more people wanting to hang out with me. One could say that the reason why is they feel your authenticity. They know you don't have some agenda. They know you're not running some scheme that is beneficial for you, not beneficial for them. They know that you have their best interest at heart. And what we see then is they too allow themselves to creatively express. And then from there, you have authentic, wonderful, harmonious friendships, romantic relationships, business relationships, etc. Now, let's say the individual, as mentioned earlier, goes to these events with their friends, detached from outcome. They find it's easier to meet new people at these events. They find that their friends may gladly introduce them to people, and the people that they meet introduce them to other people as well, and they feel comfortable in these social environments. Isn't that interesting? So the burning desire gave them the insight. If they didn't have that burning desire, if they were suppressing, repressing, or denying the burning desire, they would probably sit at home and do nothing and miss out on the opportunity to connect with people, to meet new people, to form new friendships. Dating life improved, business relationships. They wouldn't take those opportunities because we could say there is no energy in motion. Emotions are energy in motion. The burning desire is a powerful emotion that propels a person forward, not in a force-based way. It only can appear as a force-based way if a person is attached to outcome. Then they may say that having a desire is a bad thing. The fact that they have a burning desire is not good. It's not spiritual. They need to stop it. So then they do some kind of techniques or whatever to suppress, repress, and deny the desire, rather than transmuting that desire to a creative expression, to live the life that they genuinely desire to live the life that God wants them to live, you could say, which is the spiritual thing to do. Now, it's not to say that a person will always do that forever. Maybe then at a particular point, when they're in a relationship or they have a group of friends, they don't have that burning desire to go out and meet new people. Maybe at that point, they have a different burning desire. It could be to take up a new hobby or something like that. So let's say when they were going out with their friends, they're meeting people, they're getting to know them, there's opportunities to practice detachment from outcome. How so? Well, you are aware of what you think, how you emotionally relate, and then also the behaviors prior, during, and after interactions. You are aware, and this awareness I find increases through what we're talking about here. And anytime you can feel some tension in the body, that can reveal identification to a particular belief. Release that tension in the body by being still. It gets easier with practice. Untrue illusory thinking appears in mind, suggesting illusions of separation. People don't accept you the way you are, etc. Illusory thinking. Stop thinking that. Feel your emotions flowing. Again, not suppressing or repressing or denying the burning desire, but allowing that to, you could say, propel you forward to the next step. I trust you've noticed this. In relationships, for example, when I've taught this to people, this flowed as mutually beneficial chemistry with another person. So I remember working with someone and they said that they don't feel chemistry anymore towards people when they meet someone, even though, let's say, mentally they say, oh, this person's attractive, but emotionally and physically, they're not experiencing that chemistry that they once felt. So I had a conversation with them and I found out that they were suppressing, repressing, and denying their desire because they thought it was a bad thing. And the desire is always there. So we recalibrate to that, our natural way of being, our authentic way of being, without the programming that suggests otherwise. And what happens is this person allows that burning desire, that energy in motion to flow through them, and it flows also in the other person as chemistry. And now they start feeling chemistry towards someone that they feel attracted to again. And this chemistry can be quite strong. For years had gone by, they weren't feeling it. They thought this has got something to do with age, or this is just how it works, etc. But what we discovered was they were suppressing, repressing, and denying the burning desire. And one of the reasons is, when they were honest, they would say it, because when it didn't go their way, they would not want to feel that desire, because they felt that the desire, you could say, dishonored them, because they were attached to outcome. So they weren't allowing the energy to flow, and they were labeling the outcome in a particular way that suggests if the outcome happens in this particular way or whatever way, then it means love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And if not, then not. So we could say they taught themselves to think that desire is a bad thing. And what was interesting is they would find all kinds of information that would validate that belief, which is interesting as well. So rather than running away, suppressing, repressing, or denying the burning desire, what happened is they transmuted it to have wonderful dating life, wonderful relationships. They ended up in a wonderful relationship, and they have wonderful chemistry with their partner. And that creative energy of the burning desire is also transmuted, Napoleon Hill talked about this as well, to a business, to creative expressions. And with their partner, they also feel the same. So there's no suppressing or repressing, yet there's this detachment from outcome. So it doesn't feel like they hit a wall. The desire is, you could say, expressed out, and there's this wall, which is an illusory wall. It's the programming that is suggesting that this wall exists and that it's real. It's not real. It's an illusion. It's unreal, as we say. So in summary then, the burning desire is an access point into the flow. We can access the flow through the burning desire, providing the step, the clear step to take, which from there we access the flow. It also, during the journey, as we're performing the steps, creative expression, conversation, etc., further insights, perspectives happen to appear in mind, we could say, or you automatically do things inspired by that burning desire energy. So it's an access point to the flow. And detachment from outcome is also an access point to the flow, because let's say if a person identifies with a particular outcome to suggest that that means love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, and if it's not there, then not love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, then they may experience that as a flow restrictor. So there's an opportunity point to release it, and then they flow. So we could say then burning desire, access to flow, creative expression, flow, burning desire, that energy is transmuted. Energy in motion is transmuted to a creative expression. Again, it could be business, creative expression, art, it could be relationship, conversation, etc. And also the detachment from outcome allows that flow to be consistent, and then a person has a harmonious relationship with a burning desire. And that burning desire never goes away. As a matter of fact, I've seen it amplify. You harness the energy of the burning desire, and also that results in, let's say, practically speaking, for someone making videos or putting out art, never running out of ideas. How can you run out of ideas if the source of ideas within is God, the source of it all? You access it through the burning desire, and also you allow that to flow through detaching from outcome, which is also mind purifying. Because every time you detach from an outcome, unnecessarily trying to control things, what happens is mind is purified, and then you naturally, creatively express. It's also very therapeutic. You may even notice that your body, for example, body language, voice tonality, your communication style, naturally you feel comfortable, flows authentically. So we can talk a lot about this. We can go on for many hours discussing the benefits and get into even more, let's say, nuances of burning desire and detachment from outcome and how they both relate to the flow. Perhaps we'll do it in upcoming videos. Yet this is plenty for today. Let's conclude this with an auto suggestion to further encourage. You can say, from the burning desire from my heart to be as I am and experience myself in harmony with all, through creative expression, I live authentically from experiencing my natural way of flow as I release from the illusions of separation from the source to creatively express consistently in a flow, fun, joyous way that is always in harmony with all, surrendering to the true source of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment within, which effortlessly flows as wonderful life experiences, wonderful creative expression, wonderful harmonious relationships, to experience heaven on earth now.